Okay, so today is May 6, 2021. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes Storage Special Interest Group. As a reminder, this meeting is public, recorded, and posted on YouTube. So today we're going to go over the agenda listed here. Specifically, last meeting we started the Kubernetes 122 planning. We have our planning spreadsheet. We started going through it. We transferred the items that we had from 121 into 122 to see what was left over and kind of going through that list to see what should remain in 122 and what should be eliminated. And if you have any items that you want to add, please speak up. We can add them to the spreadsheet for the SIG to track. And if you're looking for things to work on, this is a good time to speak up as well, since when we're going through this, we're going to assign folks as primary developers and reviewers. So if you want to participate, that could be an opportunity for you. For people that are working on a feature delivered for 122, please keep track of the 122 release schedule. In general, the release schedule is a little bit looser than it used to be because we're now doing 3 releases a year instead of 4. So the code complete is out in July 8th, and the release isn't going to happen until August 4th. But important to note that the enhancement freeze is coming up very quickly, May 13th, which is about a week away. This is the deadline by which the KEP for any of the features that are going into 122 must be approved and merged. And in addition to that, you have to have your PRR review completed, and you need to make sure that the 122 release team, they have their own spreadsheet that your feature is listed on that spreadsheet to be tracked. So that deadline is coming up fast. If you're working on a feature for 122, please be aware of that. And so with that, we're going to jump back into the spreadsheet. In the last meeting, we stopped after the new RWO access mode item, which was number 21 here. Before we continue, I wanted to follow up on number 14 and 15. I guess for 122, we're saying we don't need this anymore. Is it okay if I go ahead and remove it? Shing, do you have any preference?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're talking about I think those are complete. Yeah. So I
Okay.
think should be fine. Delete them.
Cool. All right, so then let's continue with the new RWO access mode. I think we were finished here. It's assigned to Chris, and we are going to go to alpha this quarter. Next item is update topology labels from beta to GA. Layla, is this accurate for 122?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and it's still going to GA?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So we'll leave that as is. And I guess if you have an enhancement issue in a KEP, please add a comment to the link here and we'll get this updated.
Just an update to this. I think right now we're only waiting for the vSphere change. Other than this, all the other changes are okay. The topology one.
Got it. Okay. So update topology labels from beta for vSphere.
So if we updated that in 1.22, then this should be all set, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And there's no cap for this. So
okay.
Yeah.
And I guess the remainder of the CSI migration work here, Jiawei, you want to talk about that? So for CSI Core Migration, any work? Do we need to track this? Is it going to stay in beta?
Yeah, for the core, it will still stay in beta. I think there are a couple of stuffs we need to do in 1.22. So basically, we need to deprecate all the plugins that will not support CSI migration or we're planning to support will not support anymore. So eventually we will remove all the plugins, but right now the first step is to deprecate some unsupported plugins. This is the first stuff, and also we have we need to remove some plugins that is already been deprecated for a long time. For example, Flocker and Scale IOs. So some of the PRs are already out, and for the core migration, there are also a couple of small bugs and issues that we need to fix. Yeah, so that's why it's still pending in beta.
Okay.
For it to go to GA, I think there are a couple of there is a dependency we wanted to follow. So basically, we wanted to wait for at least 2 plugins go GA, and then we announce the core go GA.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's why it's still
for
in
the
beta.
core, we're going to call it bug fix for this cycle.
Yeah.
And for deprecations, do deprecations are bug level or do they need a cap?
I don't think they need a cap.
Okay.
It's just a docs, doc and PR.
Got it. And so we'll say bug fix and don't need a cap. And we're going to assign that to Jawei. And you can assign me as reviewer. Okay, sounds good. So we have 2 items. One is the core bug fixes. The second is deprecation of these old in-tree drivers and removal of the ones that have already been deprecated. And then for each individual cloud provider, what's the status?
So for vSphere, I think there is some concerns from Command on some feature supports. Is Command here? I think.
Yeah, I'm here. I was talking to Divyan and we were talking about like the NFS data store support in vSphere CSI driver. A lot of users use NFS data stores with the entry driver right now. If we don't want to support it, or like if we, yeah, I mean, if we don't want to support it further, or if you want a future version of vSphere CSI to support it, then we need to think through. Also, Divyan was saying that it might only be available from certain version of vSphere, like, so I don't know if you want to deprecate NFS data stores in Kubernetes.
That seems pretty bad. Is it just a vSphere version dependency, or is there other issues?
Sandeep or Divyan, are you guys there? Like, if you want to give more background, I don't know. I saw Sandeep, but I think he dropped off. Okay, so Divyan was saying he's saying that like they will be trying to backport the NFS data store supports in 6.7 vSphere.
I see.
And yeah, so this means basically like, for example, if you're using NetApp's integration with vSphere, then
Right.
you can't use the vSphere CSI driver.
Yeah, that seems pretty fundamental. That should not be breaking. Xing, do you know anything about this?
No, I didn't hear about this. I can check with Divya.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
This NFS data store in-tree driver, it is NFS driver or the vSphere driver?
So you can have your data stored in vSphere hosted on any kind of backend. Like it can be NFS, it can be local disk, it could be a vSAN.
No.
And the entry driver supports all of them basically.
Oh, the vSphere entry driver support all of these.
Yeah. The CSI driver, it doesn't support NFS or it doesn't support fully. There's the support statement is bit like, yeah.
The CSI. Okay, we can double check that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's something we can follow up on. Outside of that, are we moving to beta this cycle? Have we already gotten to beta? What are we doing for vSphere CSI migration?
It's already beta, so still
It's already beta.
yeah.
Okay, and so anything else here? Is it just bug fixes this quarter?
I think there are a couple of other important stuff. For example, Windows support and Roblox support.
Okay.
Those are still missing, so I don't know if it's gonna be ready this release.
Got it. So keep it in beta and add these missing features. Okay. And then for Azure Disk, Azure File, are we pushing Azure Disk to beta as well this quarter, or still holding off on that?
It's already beta. It's just right now off by default. We're trying to maybe turn this on by default this release.
Got it.
I think from Azure Disk there's no like outstanding issues. But I heard Hamang said he did some testing for this and then found some bugs. I don't know if Hamang you wanted to raise them. If there's no bug, then I think I would just pin Nandi and then turn this on by default.
Christian Fabio, like I was just referring the CSI migration meeting. We were just talking about the E2E failures we are finding in these just drivers. So I think like most of our failures were related to snapshot and resizing for Azure Disk, right? Christian, are you there?
I'm here. We did have a snapshot failure. It's not specific to migration or Azure Disk, but that should be fixed in Kubernetes now.
Cool. Yeah.
So any CSI migration specific failures?
I haven't seen any specific to CSI migration. We found some differences between the CSI driver and the entry driver, but nothing specific to CSI migration.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, so I think we'll keep, I guess we'll target a beta and on by default this cycle.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And then Azure File.
Yeah, Azure File we're also targeting on by default this release.
Okay.
Although it's blocked on item number 2, I think.
Blocked on item 2, delete FS group.
Delegate, like we shouldn't turn on this by default until we support FS group.
I see. So are we going to be able to pull it off this cycle, both item 2 and this?
Even if we do it, the FS group will be in alpha actually. And it's right now blocked in the CSI spec change.
Right, right. And so does that mean we have to wait until item 2 goes to beta?
I think so, yeah. I would, at
Okay.
least I would like to. I don't know if anybody thinks differently, yeah. Otherwise, like you have to mount your volumes with 777 permissions. And which might be okay, but I know existing workloads.
Is that a difference from what entry currently supports?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. In that case, I think we would have to hold off then. Blocked on item 2. Is there any other progress we can make in the meantime?
I don't think there is anything need to be done here.
Okay, So
I will sync up
think,
with Andy offline on this.
got it. I'm going to mark this as crossed out so that we're not tracking it for this cycle, but we'll keep an eye on it for the next cycle. Okay, and then on the GCE side, what's the plan here?
So I think we want to go to GA in 122. The only reason why we didn't get that in 121 was because making the PDCSI on by default for like the tests and stuff was a little trickier, and we didn't give ourselves enough time. But for 122, it should be fine. We're still on track to launch this in GKE in 121. So that should be good. And just as an aside, this process has actually revealed a couple pre-existing bugs in the sidecars. So, you know, I guess that's good.
Nice. All right, that sounds awesome. So hopefully we'll be able to hit that and get the first driver GA'd for CSI migration.
Fingers
And
crossed.
on by default. Fingers crossed. Okay, next up is AWS. What are the plans for AWS?
For AWS, I think one outstanding issue is the Windows support.
Got it.
That it's still missing. I think Matt said he already has a prototype or something.
Okay. Sounds good. So it sounds like we'll keep it in beta, add Windows support, and
can you hear me? I had some
Yes.
problems with microphone. I don't like the GC going to GA without having it enabled by default, at least for one release, because this will be pretty surprising for non-GKE people.
I'm okay with that. Actually, I mean, I think for me the most important thing is to have it on by default, like to get it exercised in tests and stuff. So yeah, that's like I guess that the difference between beta and GA when it's on by default is not as clear to me. So
well,
yeah, I'm happy to discuss that further.
You can disable it when it's in beta. When it's GA, you can't disable it if it's broken.
Oh, you can't switch the feature flag off at all?
I think so.
I see. Yeah, that's a good point.
Jawei, any concerns with keeping it in beta but on by default?
Yeah, I think let's keep it in beta this release, and then we can go GA next release.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Sure. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
And okay, so sounds like that's we're going to keep it in beta and on by default for GC. For AWS, beta, and we're adding support for Windows support. I wanted to double check, is this going to be on by default or not?
I think the plan is to on by default this release, but then I don't know
Okay.
if the Windows support is gonna be ready by the time. So yeah, we will see.
Okay. And then I guess the same thing is true with vSphere, on by default if ready.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Kind of related to Windows support, CSI proxy. Right now, right, we have the GA plan, but we got a good review from Michelle about API, so we are going to have some API changes, and all the drivers who are using beta CSI proxy API need to handle the difference between beta API and the V1 API. So just to let everyone know, yeah.
So CSI proxy was marked as GA for last cycle, and where did we end up? Target GA post. Okay.
It's
so
target.
That means and so it sounds like we're gonna still target GA this quarter.
Right. But there will be API changes. So all the drivers who are using CSI proxy need to be aware and need to make changes accordingly.
Got it.
Thanks for the heads up on that. Are the changes documented anywhere at the moment?
Right now, we haven't finished like updating the API yet. So we open a number of issues based on the feedback, and so it's under CSI proxy repo, and you will see all the proposing API changes in those issues.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
We'll be updating the cap, right? No, the cap is under SIG.
Yes. I'm also updating CAP, but CAP does not have specific like API there.
Oh,
I think
I thought it has something.
it has many other aspects like
Okay.
GA questionnaire, but not specific API. It's not there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that is good to know, and it sounds like Jing, you're going to continue to own that CSI proxy for Windows, or is there somebody else working on that?
Yes, me and Deep and like a Mauricio, like a group
Okay.
of people. Yeah.
So who's the primary dev and primary reviewer?
Me, Deep, Michelle, and Mauricio, Kalia. Like,
Sounds
so
good.
yeah, you can
I'll
put
put
Michelle.
you and Deep as the primaries
Yeah.
here. Okay,
Sure.
sounds good. And maybe what would be useful is to send a message to the CSI announcement mailing list, which a bunch of developers, CSI developers are on, to say, hey, heads up, if you added Windows support, you're going to need to update before GA.
Sure, I will do that.
All right, cool. Thank you. So we just discussed AWS. What's going on with Cinder?
So Cinder has been turned on by default, previous release. I
Okay.
think this release, the target is GA.
This release target should be still beta.
Okay.
At least that's my agreement with OpenStack people.
Got it. So let's just cross it out for this release. Means we'll watch it and see what happens, and then if everything goes well, then GA next cycle.
Yep.
Sounds good. And then Seth?
Yeah, I don't know if Humble is here. I had some discussion with him. It seems that he is still trying to decide if he wants to support the CSI migration for this. I saw he's not here, so I guess I'll sync up with him offline and see an update here.
Okay. So preliminarily, we're saying alpha because this is kind of, this is the furthest behind right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then updated topology labels we already discussed. Okay, so we've got a good idea of CSI migration. Great work on all of this for everybody who's been working on it. This is a massive effort. It's thankless work. Everybody likes to work on fancy new features and not really on any of the tech debt. So thank you for all your hard work on making progress on this. Next up, I think we have a set of SIG, or I guess co-owned items, but before that, I'm going to pull these other items up. Let's do this. Okay, so first item here is always honor reclaim policy. Somebody want to talk to this item?
Oh, yeah. So my coworker, Deepak, is working on this.
Okay.
This is it's mainly like a bug fix, but because we need to deprecate an existing behavior, so we added a cap here.
Got it.
Yeah. So the cap is already out. That's the basic proposal there. So Yang, I assign that to you. Can you take a look? Because I think you are most familiar with that as a PVC controller.
Okay. I can take a look.
What's the high
issue,
level?
So the issue basically is the depending on, so it's a bound PVC depending on whether you start by deleting the PVC first or start by deleting the PV first, the end result is different. If you start by delete PVC first, then everything will be deleted from the storage system. But you start by deleting PV first, and then even if you go ahead and delete PVC, the API objects are all deleted from Kubernetes, but the storage on the storage side, the volume is left. Yeah, so the change is just to always honor the deletion policy. If it says delete, then we always delete. It doesn't matter whether you try to delete PV or PVC first.
Got it. And we're going to try to enforce this through the use of finalizers or some other way?
No, so right, the proposed piece right now in the cap is basically just knows that we have a check for a timestamp. Basically, in the if the timestamp, deleting timestamp was added early when you try to delete PV first, then we actually skip it. We don't go. So the proposal right now is just to remove that, but I'd like Yang to take a look and see if that has any consequences, if there is a better way to fix this. Yeah.
Okay,
So
sounds good. Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, sorry. If it goes through alpha beta, like that means also has like a feature gate for that?
Yeah. So we're going to have the feature gate because this is an existing behavior that we don't know if anyone is depending on this.
Yeah, it's actually like a bug, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I don't know if no one think this is really something that we should keep, then we just fix it. That'll be easier. What do you guys think? So Jim, why don't you also take a look of that? I'll assign that to you as well. Maybe we can talk about this again because I mean we don't mind if it's just bug fix, it will be easier. We'll get done quicker. But if someone is kind of relying on this behavior, then we need to have this deprecation going through the feature gate. So yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it is a behavior that we have since Kubernetes 1.0 actually. So I don't think anybody is like depending on the behavior, but I would prefer to be on the safe side and have feature gate and proper deprecation and everything.
Okay, so maybe we can just go through this quicker. Well, still, so probably maybe go through. Yeah, then we go through feature gate 3 releases. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. Next item is control volume mode conversion between source and target PVC.
Oh, so this is that the potential safety issue. So I think we'll just need to work on the design because we don't have a good solution yet. So.
Got it. And looks like you have someone already working on this, Sean Chen and yourself.
So yeah, so we haven't really spent too much time on this, but I look at it. So yeah, so I will start with some proposal.
Got it. Okay. And it looks like we already have cap. Or we have
maybe that is not right. Oh, this is just the issue, right? Okay.
Okay, got it.
We haven't really opened the issue in the enhancement right yet. This is just the issue on GitHub. Yeah, GitHub.
Okay, so control volume mode conversion between source and target PVC. Okay, and then secret protection. Anyone want to talk about this one?
I think I see. I don't know if Masaki is here. You added this one last time. I think he's already submitted a cap.
Okay.
Looks like he added some finalizers just to prevent the secret from being deleted.
Okay. Got it. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. So secret protection, finalizers, deletion. And who wants to sign up to review that?
Take a look.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Xing. Next item is preserve default file mode bit set in atomic writer volumes.
Yeah, so this one, there's a cap open for this.
Okay. And we're targeting an alpha implementation this cycle.
No, actually, it's
Uh-huh.
because the cap is kind of incomplete. Me and Jan reviewed it, and unless like they want to set like preserving the default mode is not possible unless we also start changing the volume ownership by user ID, which we currently don't. So the cap must be modified to set ownership by user, and that opens up a little bit more discussion about like currently in Kubernetes we don't support UID based ownership of volumes. So
Got it. So this could become a bigger design issue. Maybe let's switch this to a design this quarter.
yeah, I don't know if Abhishek is there, but yeah, I don't know if he's. There was a projected account token, a cap that was recently merged last quarter where they decided to use FS user like the UID of the container. So we could do something similar, but I hate doing this like whack-a-mole thing. If you're going to
Yeah.
allow UID based permission, then we should like design it properly.
So should we remove this from the enhancement tracking sheet? Because right now we actually have this one there in the enhancement tracking spreadsheet.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to do it.
Well,
Like,
oh, okay, I'll
generally,
remove that.
I haven't seen any update after I commented
Okay,
on this PR.
sounds good.
Yeah, seems
Yeah,
reasonable. Sorry, go ahead, Joey.
I said I will sync with Abhishek offline, and also I will sync with Homa offline to better understand this.
Sounds good. Thank you both. Okay, next item is, so these are the items that are co-owned by other SIGs as well as SIG storage. First up is ungraceful node shutdown. Was previously design. Xing, what's the target for this cycle?
So I think we're trying to get the cap merged, but as provisional, but because I think it's we don't have much time to get this merged because as alpha, because basically what happens is I think team actually already gave look good to me a while back, but then after that from SIG storage side we have we reviewed it, and so we are going to make more changes than what was there previously. So we need some time to actually do some more testing, make sure we covered everything.
And I have a CSI spec change.
Yeah, so that will be also kind of they will work together with this. So we need to test the when I did POC, but I didn't have the CSI spec side changes at that time.
Got it.
And also I think Michelle has some feedback saying that the reconstruction should be done for the node on stage as well. So that we also need to add. Yeah, so there are still a few things to add there, but we want to make some progress. So hopefully we can get the cap merge as provision, then we can still progress that. Yeah, because the cap is out for quite some time.
You want to target design or prototype?
What's the difference?
I guess design is we only focus on getting a cap merged, and prototype is trying to get some sort of pre-alpha level code written.
Oh, okay. So I think we will do a prototype. So prototype is like the one step more than design?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we want to do that. It's just, I don't think we can, because a lot of those changes are entry or some CSS spec. Yeah, so we can't really merge anything. That's what I'm saying, because we don't have like an external repo to do this.
Okay, and so we'll need to create a repo and everything for this.
No, I don't think this is the change will be either in tree or like the CSS spec changes.
Got it.
So I don't think we need a new repo for that.
Okay.
Yeah, all existing components, I believe.
Sounds good. Okay, so then we'll target prototype for this release, and hopefully the KEP gets merged as well.
Okay.
Next one is enable user namespace in kubelet so UIDs get shifted. Aman? Aman, are you there?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm here. This KEP did not merge last quarter, so I don't know. Like, I haven't looked at it. I think it was still in design phase, and there were a lot of questions being raised. So but
Got
I
it.
haven't looked at it. So if
Okay.
anybody else wants to review it, that would be great.
Okay. So maybe let's mark this as design for this quarter and hopefully get it merged. It seems like there were a lot of open issues, so targeting an alpha seems unlikely. Okay, sounds good. Next one is SIG scalability, immutable secrets, and config maps to GA. I think we're done here, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this one. Next up is address issues. PVC created by stateful set will not be auto removed. So we were targeting alpha and it missed the code freeze. Sounds like we'll keep it on alpha for this cycle.
Yep, that's right. So the updates to the KEP from last cycle are out for review, and I'm hopeful that I'll get the implementation done on time. So I think this is still on track for alpha in 122.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Matt. So we'll keep that as is, and the next item is Cigaps volume expansions for stateful sets. This was targeted as design last quarter. We were looking for an owner and moving it to 122. Any new updates on this?
Yeah, so I have some coworkers who are interested in working on this, and they are new, so I think they need some time to get up to speed. I asked KK whether how we can update the cap. So he said it's okay that we just can go ahead and submit a new one.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good. And so this cycle will
just
we'll
design.
target design. Perfect. Okay. So that looks good to me. We can leave it as is. Next item is execution hook.
Yeah, so this one we're actually from the API review side, we are getting very close. Tim says he's very close to being happy with that.
Oh wow!
But yeah, but then I asked SIG Node. They're saying we're too late. They already got like 20 caps targeting. I was like, because a week ago I think they only had 4 in that spreadsheet. Now suddenly they got 20.
Nice.
So I'm not sure if they can take it. So I was just still checking with them and checking with Xiangqian. If they can't, I can understand that because it's only like 1 week. So what we can do is still try to get the cap merged early for the next release.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to leave it as alpha here, and then once we officially know that it didn't make it, we can change it to design and then target the next release.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you for all your hard work on that. Next item is Kubernetes utils mount split into new repo. So there was some leftover work here. The lib was in staging. Drivers can use it. Remaining work was to clean up existing dependencies, which was dependent on C advisor. We're going to move this to 122. I don't know if Sereni's on the call. Does not look like it. Anyone have any updates on this?
So what's the proposal here? Right now it is in staging, right?
Today it's in a library that is shared with a bunch of other components, and SIG architecture basically said move it into its own repo and have it as a standalone repo. So that was done, and so it's part of that repo is part of staging, and so everyone can consume it We just need to update all the consumers to start using the new dependency.
So it's already in the staging, right?
Yes.
Repo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for PDCSI driver, I already kind of made a change.
Yeah, that's fine.
And also, I think I just want to mention because all the new changes like bug fixes, right, will be in that staging repo. And I recently have a bug fix, which is important for Windows. So I think, yeah, it's good for all the drivers also use that.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. So if you have a CSI driver that uses the mount utils, please make sure to update your dependency. All the new changes are going to go to the new repo effectively. And yeah, and so that's if you have a CSI driver, please update. And then the remainder work here is to update the internal Kubernetes dependencies. So I'm going to leave this as is. Hopefully Serini can help wrap this up this cycle. We can move on to the next item, prioritization on volume capacity. Anyone want to give an update on this? Looks like we might actually be done with alpha based on previous update.
Oh, that is alpha. I think
Yeah.
just whether we want to do
Beta
or not, I'm not sure.
Okay, let's go ahead and mark it for beta. And we can get an update next time to see if they're okay moving it to beta. Next item is user ID ownership in config maps and what am I looking at? Here we go. Config maps and secrets. Jiawei? Looks like we need a new owner to work on this. Enhancement issue and KEP were open. Jiawei was helping review it.
Sorry, which one is it?
This is user ID ownership.
This one is exactly the same preserve default file mode. So this one is the same with the 34.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's put this next to 34 and dedupe. So you are helping review this, kept open but incomplete, and the titles here are different.
I mean, we can cross out 35 because this one is the same with 34.
Yeah, sounds good. I was just going to make sure we don't lose any of the information in that title. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that. All right, thank you. And the last item we have here is Saad CSI service token account token, targeting GA in 122. Anybody have any additional information on this?
Just know that we got confirmation from the dev owner that he's working on this in 1.22, the GA.
Who's helping review this from the SIG side?
I believe Michelle was reviewing this one earlier.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so I think that wraps up planning for 122. Were there any other items anybody on the call wanted to add?
So Saad, 2 weeks ago when we started this review, we didn't have Sid to review the cozy item.
Yes.
Up on line 17.
Right.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Sid, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So I think we were putting Cozy down as targeting alpha this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still accurate?
Yeah. So we plan to go alpha this cycle. We have our KEP ready. We've reached a consensus on the design and architecture. We're waiting for the API reviewer to take a look and give us the green light. Yeah, that's if if you can reach out to Tim. Tim Hawkin is the reviewer, and I believe the deadline's coming up really soon. If there is anything we can do to reach out to Tim and help move this along faster, that would be great.
Yep, that sounds good. I'll see if I can poke them offline.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can get Csi moved to alpha. I marked it as a P1 for this cycle, as well as data populators. Okay, sounds good. Anything else in terms of items that we should be tracking for the 122 cycle?
Amang, do you want to update on the voting resize? Because there's some update, right? Is Amang still there? Oh, I think he dropped. Okay.
I'll put
I think he just. I think the okay. So I think the beginning first two items. Go to the beginning. Yeah, so those two are tracked. There is another item. I'm not sure if there is it's tracked inside something or there's another. Oh, maybe it is number 2. Is that the voting expansion? We add that to PV. So basically, we copy the allow voting expansion from storage class to PV. So Hemant asked SIG release whether we need another enhancement issue or just track it as the original voting expansion. So sounds like the release team is okay for us to track that just as the original issue. But they say the original cap is too old. We need to update that to the new format.
I see. And that's going to be under number 2 or number 3?
It seems like it's number 2. Number 3 is row 4. That's a different cap, so it's probably 3 rows. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So CSI online offline volume expansion, fix issues and update. Let's do update cap and fix issues.
Reformatting a cap is not a small amount of work.
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of new stuff.
That's a very old cap. That's like that feature was introduced a long time ago.
Got it. Okay, so that's going to be potentially expanding the scope of that work. Okay, so let's discuss that with Hemant next time. I've written it down here and we can call it out next time. Okay, any other items to track for 122? Okay, so switching back to the agenda doc, reminder that KEP freeze is coming up on May 13th. You have to have your item tracked by the 122 release team, as well as having your KEP merged, which requires API review, PRR review. So please get those started as soon as possible if you're working on a 122 item. In addition to that, looks like there's one design review, the secret protection stuff. I don't think Masaki's on the line.
Yeah, this was copied from the previous last chance.
Okay, so I think this is one of those things where let's review it offline and see if we can provide any feedback. Okay, anything else anybody wants to talk about today? All right, I guess last comment is I know coronavirus is getting better kind of in some areas, but it's also getting a lot worse in a lot of other areas. So a lot of folks may have family or friends that are affected, and you know, as a SIG, we're kind of a big extended family, and so I wanted to, you know, put my thoughts out there and make sure everybody's well. And if everyone ever feels like the work for the SIG is, you know, a distraction from their family life, take care of your family, do what you got to do, and just, you know, let us know. We'll work around that. And that is all. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Saad.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye.
You too.